What is up? I'm Ken from LK Reptiles, and we got BTL over there. I pointed right, so I'm thinking it's good,
Yeah,
So good. It's always good when I point right because if I start out pointing wrong, I'm just like, man,
you're
come
all
on.
that way. Oh, my bad.
That
That
way,
way.
that, wait,
Yeah.
yeah, that way. Like, I just, oh, my bad, that way. Yeah, wait. I gotta turn this down now. At least I didn't drop it like I did the last time that happened. So what's up, dude? I mean, what's been going on the last couple of days? I mean, I've been pretty busy. I missed out on a live last night we were supposed to do. I felt bad, but dude, I was beat. What's up,
So this
TJ?
is
How's it going?
this. What's up, everyone in the chat? I'm a lot. Last week, I apologize. I don't care what Ken says. I was a lazy piece of shit co-host last week. I don't care. I am going to do a lot better tonight. I am more active because everyone can see that I've been, had a few, not a lot of drinks,
What's up,
but I've
Morbid?
had a few more talkative. Um, but with this amazing week, I got to hang out with Mark earlier, learned a lot of shit. I want to make this clear. I told you I was going to bring it up. I am a little disappointed that no one kind of participated. I was at least hoping for one participating person, and that is on Thursday when we did our show, which is going to be just a. I feel like Thursdays will be more likely just a mostly a sports show. Well, Saturday and Sunday will be more reptiles, if not all reptiles. But I was hoping for more people to participate in the game that we made Thursday, just because we did put in. I put in a
I
good
put in some
idea.
hours.
Um, we both chose. So basically, all I want to do for those who are watching right now, if you could do me this and just participate and try to win a free $25, and that's all you got to do, is choose 11 females and 11 males, three recessive females, three recessive males, but you get 11 and 11, and put in your 11 offensive players and defensive players, which are snake, ball python, morphs, and single gene morphs. You can't be like, I have a sunset, clown, pie, ghost, desert ghost. Like, no, we're not going to do all that. Just a single gene. And Ken and I are going to compare whoever participates, which no one has yet, and whoever had, like, what we would think for breeding wise. So look at it like that. You're breeding 11 males to 11 females. And you're allowed three recessives, any hets, codoms, or doms, but single genes only.
I'm going to
Hopefully,
send you a list and take the $25.
send me the list. Fuck, might as well.
Right? I mean, it can't ain't that bad. I mean, I don't know. I knew we was going to have a little trouble getting the people involved, but I mean, I think if we stick with it, I mean, I think we could definitely like merge the two groups. I mean, I know there's not many ball python breeders out there or hobbyists. There's not many that like football, but some do. And I mean,
Well, that's just it. They don't have to know anything about football. They just got to know 11 more.
yeah, I
11
mean,
females and 11 males. That's it. That's all they
but
got to
they
know.
half of them can't even name every position on the field.
But you ain't got to name the
What's
position when you
up?
only got 11 and 11. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like, there's
right.
no, like, we'll break that down. If someone, like, comes on or, like, submits one, like, they could just write 11 genes. You and I could be like, all right, they chose a sunset. That's their quarterback, blah, blah, blah. But we could be like, this is what we thought of the breeding project, and, this is who we thought would win.
Well, if no one participates, I think we should like put it off to the side and wait for like the next idea we have, and then add that in on the next one.
Oh, yeah. So here's the next one if you want to, if I could say it now, if you're okay with it.
I don't care. Sure, go ahead.
So next major big sporting event would be March Madness. I like March Madness. I'll be following it all the way to the Final Four to the championship game. But how to make it interesting for snake breeders, Ken and I will go over the results. But all you have to do is choose 64 different genes and see on.
64? Wow,
Well,
that's a lot.
it is a lot, but how many more starter? There's over what 2,000 easy.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I
64 is
mean, not
really not.
2,000, like 200 and something.
Well, yeah, okay, but still, I mean, there's only 200 something schools, is there not? So like, I'm just saying that would be kind of cool. Or even if we could say, screw the 64 and do, you know, an Elite Eight. You choose your Elite Eight snakes, and we kind of compare who had, like, in our opinion, the most elite.
All right. Ashley and TJ, both of you, if you just want to participate, like, get a hold of me on IG and I'll help you. I'll help anybody that wants to participate, like, get a decent team in there to have a chance to win. Yeah. I'm not going to really put an entry in. I was just messing around. But anyone, Morbid, if you want to enter, like, we'll talk about it, and, you know, I'll set you up a team.
I'll set you up a team. That's what.
I mean, I'll help. I mean, I'm not going to do it all, but I'll explain it to them to where they could put it there. What's up, Bosa? How's it going?
What's up, Bosa? That's all I'm saying. It's very simple. I mean, like, just 11 males, 11 females, 3 recessives on both sides. That's it.
So, how'd your show go? Who'd you interview earlier, and how did it go? Dude, my head just, I can't remember nothing. Blue, be quiet.
You're good. I actually interviewed Mark's Reptiles, and it was a show I will never forget. He pulled out Asian, a Chinese cobra. It was really cool, man. Like, to see that thing, and for him to pull it out and show something that is venomous like that, it was epic time. A lot of knowledge from Mark. If you want to get into venomous, definitely go check him out. Hit him up. Very humble guy, knows his stuff, and can actually teach you and give you a positive vibe towards owning venomous reptiles.
TJ, we don't care if it makes sense. I mean, we just want people to participate. You know, we trying to just put a different spin onto things, you know, a little bit, and see what happens. I mean, we both love sports and we both love reptiles. So we're kind of just trying to marriage them together on our Thursday show. And I mean, we might talk about it here and there on this show, but I mean, we're just trying to promote that show a little bit.
Correct.
But my opinion on venomous is, I think it's too laxy. When I go to backwoods show like they have in Altoona, I mean, there's guys there with venomous snakes and Dixie cups. I mean, I just don't agree with that. I mean, hey, Celtic, how's it going?
What's up, Celtic? Both
Intrepid, how's it going, bud?
Lynch,
you know what I mean? Like, that's
I get it, but I mean, I get it. I look at it like this. They're only putting them in those small things, just like ball pythons, little containers, and all this. It's because they're on display for sale at an expo. But
I get it.
If that's how they kept the animal in real life, then no, that's
they didn't even have the edges taped, dude. You know how the ones are taped with red? They had them in deli cups, not taped. I didn't even going to go to that table. He had like some kind of viper over there. I didn't even want to look. But I was just like, I ain't going over there. There ain't no way in hell. Thing jump out of there and bite me.
Please. Dude, honestly, like, I have to say this. I didn't say this with Mark on there, but if there was a way to die, I definitely want to go buy a reptile. Let me get eaten by like an alligator, crocodile, Burmese. Let me get bit by a fucking something that'll take me. I'd rather die by that than get hit by a car, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
I'd rather die of old age, like smiling, you know, at peace when I go, than getting chewed up by an alligator or bit by some kind of venomous snake. So, I mean, we definitely have different views about that one.
Yeah.
Reptiles, how's it going, buddy?
What's up, E?
So I don't know if you knew what was going on last night. I meant to tell you about this behind backstage. But since I wasn't blue in your chat, Bosa first like timed me out. And I was like, come on now, guys. And then Morbid thought it was even funnier to time me out again. And then I had to run my mouth, and then E was like, well, I'm joining in on the fun, and timed me out again. It was like, I was so frustrated. It's like, these motherfuckers. I swear to God, one of these days, you're going to get back. I'm going to get all three of you back somehow,
See,
some way.
that is actually, I don't know. I think it's funny. I wasn't blue earlier in your chat before everyone joined, and I was like, make me blue. But no, I'll definitely make you blue. But that shit was funny to me last night, man. Like, because I know it wasn't disrespectful. They weren't doing it to, it's family, man. Like, they were giving you a good time. It's funny.
I just thought it was hilarious. I mean, like,
don't forget Justin also. Yeah.
Did Justin do it too? I thought I only got timed out 3 times last night. I'm not sure. Hold on a second. I'm going to turn my camera off. I got to go turn my furnace off while we're on this because it's just too loud. I can hear it and I can't hear you. So hold on.
Yeah, you're good. So your comment right there, TJ. Hots are beautiful. I get it. And I agree with you. Venomous is not for everybody. It is not for everybody. Do I want to get into Venomous? Yes. But do I feel like I should? No. Why? I have some shit that you shouldn't do when you're handling Venomous. I like to drink. I like to smoke weed. Not a good combination. If I could. But then again, I live in Nevada, so I can't even have a fucking Cobra anyway. But if I was able to get a Cobra, yeah, I'd stop drinking. I'd stop smoking weed. That shit would be my fucking new life. But no, I agree. It shouldn't go to everybody or into the general public. I do agree with that statement.
I think there should be classes that you should have to take if you want to own Venomous. I mean, I know people who got Venomous and they're probably cussing me right now, but I mean, serious, you're owning something. If it gets out that it could kill someone in your family, a neighbor, just things are wicked.
Yeah. Bosa says he's allergic to venom.
Yeah. But, I mean, just my opinion. I mean, I don't know. I just think it would be. I mean, I haven't heard of any kind of like venomous snakes getting out and raising havoc, but
there's been a lot, actually, a lot.
I'm sure it happens. But some of these people that have just like ball pythons, I hate to say it, I could not see them have venomous.
No. Now, once again, if I was in a state that allowed me that would allow me to keep a Cobra, I would stop drinking and smoking weed just to have a.
Come to PA. You can have anything you want here in PA.
So honestly, I was also thinking we thought about moving to PA, and for that reason. But honestly, this might sound a little steady, but I don't think I would like the East Coast, dude. Like I don't like the snow I get here, and I barely get like 2-3 inches when it snows. I'm like, you guys are getting pounded by snow. I don't want to wake up like dig out my car. Like I'm good.
Look at that. Intrepid had a Cobra running around Raleigh for a few months. Yeah. That's pretty funny. Well, I mean, funny in a sense of someone let their snake get away, but not funny in a sense that there's a Cobra around. Just an animal. No, I mean, I'm definitely moving out of PA just because I don't like the weather. It's too cold.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't move just for an animal either, though.
Yeah, I got too much metal in my body for the cold weather.
Besides, I mean, like, this is allowed in Nevada, so I can't have a Cobra, right? And I can't have any, like, exotics. But if you think of an exotic, it's not from where you live. But it's kind of funny when they say, no, you can't have exotic reptiles, but you could own a tiger, an elephant. Oh, who knows? Maybe I'll be fucking.
What's up, Brock? Y'all don't know Rock and you're not subscribed to him, go over and give him a subscribe. He's a good dude. I was on his show earlier. He's got a good idea about his show. I like the way he ran it. Thumbs up to you, Rock.
Oh, yeah. I just have the chat up, so I can't even see you, really, to be honest with you, because I don't want to miss the chat.
Right. Morbid, I don't know if you should be someone who gets venomous.
Yeah, I think you could be coaxed into taking a bite
He
too
says,
easily.
yeah, I don't think he's talking about himself though. He says, yeah, I know you ain't dumb enough to let the thing loose. I am not opposed to it, but there's just a place for it.
Right? There's definitely a curve there that you gotta have. Like, you gotta know what you're doing. I mean, I don't know if you got a
But
snake
this is
hook and you kind of figure out, I guess, but that's not
but
nothing to wing. You got to know
but
what you're
what
doing.
but what I'm saying is, well, I can't have cobras, but I could own a fucking tiger or an elephant or even a fucking. I think Nevada allows gorillas. Like you're telling me I can fucking like. I don't agree with the laws sometimes. I'm like, how are you gonna say exotics, but you knock out all the reptiles, but I'm allowed to have a fucking tiger? That's crazy.
You have a gorilla, but you can't have like a man eating. You could have a man eating tiger,
I can't even have Burmese, or I could have a Burmese. I can't have a retic. No anacondas.
but
Yeah,
you could have a tiger.
I could have a tiger that'll fucking eat the neighbor's dog, no problem for fucking.
That is like one of the biggest killing machines out there. Like, what
Yeah,
is a
right.
human going to do if a tiger attacks them? You ain't fighting it off.
Slap it on its nose and be like, "Bad kitty." No,
Yeah, bad kitty. Sure. Like, maybe chop your arm off and throw it just to get it to chase it.
Oh, I can't make that highlight right there by 9:05. See that?
What's up, 905? You could have a tiger, but not a pit bull? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. They banned pit bulls?
That is messed up. That is truly
In
messed
Ontario. Yeah, in Canada. That's pretty stupid.
up. We
Just
can't have
stupid.
hognose. Are you kidding me? You can't have a hognose there? Damn, see, I could have a hognose, but I'm not allowed any like monitors.
And Missouri, is that who said that? Yeah.
Celtic.
That's weird. I mean, and they're only rear fang venomous. They're not even really. They can't even really harm humans.
Yeah, but some states are like that. So like here, I could have a western, but I can't have an eastern hognose.
I mean, I know there's big differences, and there's a lot to do with environments and shit. But I think the way that PA looks at it is nothing's going to survive the winter, anyways, exotic pet wise, if it gets out. So who cares?
Yeah. PA has some of the most unsensitive laws. Wow, really? That is crazy. Because it's native here? Okay.
Yeah, like pit bulls are all on how you raise them. My mom had one for years, and that dog wouldn't hurt a flea. Now, come try to walk in that house, and he don't know you. He laid into a couple people that thought that he's just going to walk in there. No.
See, dogs aren't bad, dude. Even pits, like people will want to say pit bulls are bad and all this. Like it's how the trainer. It's
but
the dog.
That
Because,
right
honestly,
there is you can't own native species, but now they're trying to take away our exotics. So what can we actually own?
See, for me, it's different. I could have anything that is native, but I can't have anything that's exotic. So this is what I understand. You're telling me I'm allowed to go herp in Nevada or buy from an expo Nevada that's selling a Great Basin rattlesnake, Mojave rattlesnake, green Mojave rattlesnake, speckled rattlesnake, sidewinder rattlesnake, or even a western diamondback rattlesnake, and those could kill me. Even though, I mean, yeah, they're native to the state, but I mean, there's still the chance of dying. But yet, I can't have something that is like here, like so. You're okay with me taking a risk of being bit, but yet you're not okay with me having an anaconda. You're not okay with me having a monitor lizard. You're not okay with me having this or that. But yeah, I could once again. The laws are so fucked up, man. I'm tired of it. Like, what's up, Joel?
What's up, Joel? Yeah, for real. I mean, I don't know. There needs to be more consistency and less laws in it. I mean, I don't think I mean, if you cross state line, like if you live in this part of Nevada, you have these rules, but 500 feet in the next country or whatever, or city or state, let me say it right. If you're on the border, then you can. You know, I mean, I think these regulations and stuff that they're doing, someone with some reptile experience needs to be making these things up instead of these pencil pushers that are just scared of them. Because that's what it is.
Correct. It really does come down to lack of knowledge when, I mean, they go for a state like, my state where, okay, so let's put this in perspective, and I'm not trying to turn this into a weird show or anything, but I can't have anything that can, like a cobra, right? I can't have anything, a lapid, which would be in the cobra's family. I can't have anything like that, but we allow brothels, strip clubs constantly here all over, gambling. We allow all this other stuff, but you're telling me I could go spend $3,000 on a legit hooker, but yeah, I can't spend $3,000 on something I might want to have in my collection forever. Like, it's really fucked up. And let me just say this: do you really think a cobra would really do good in Reno? I mean, because it would never get out of my place if I ever had one. For one, I would stop drinking, smoking weed, and when that was happened,
I don't think it's the drinking and smoking weed part. It's just that
no, I'm just saying I would
they
drop.
let people buy these things where they're allowed with no permits. Like, I don't know about cobras in PA. I've never seen a cobra for sale in PA, but I do know someone had one 10 years ago. He had albino ones, a male and a female. The male was defanged and the female wasn't. But it's just like, he didn't have a permit. Like, I think there should have to be some kind of school you take to earn these things, and then you should. You should be able to buy what the hell you want as long as you got the training to do so.
I'm going to give everyone advice right now. And this was advice that I got today from Mark's Reptiles, because him and I talked behind stage, of course, and all that before and after the show. And he was like, he knew that I was serious about getting a cobra soon. Like, I really want one. But at the same time, he was like, instead of getting into a cobra right away, why don't you go get a king snake that is very aggressive because they move the same way as a cobra? Learn with that. And if you could do well with that and tame it on a hook, I agree. What's the harm in taking the next step? But with laws being pushed where you can't have this and that, it's wrong.
Right. Now, that back to what TJ said, I guess there was a retic found on the side of the highway in New York, and they're supposed to be banned. Well, apparently, someone had one and let it get loose, but I mean, what's that say about their owners? You have a lot of irresponsible breeders and owners out there and keepers that just, they just need to just, like, take the right steps with these things. Make sure it's, especially with venomous. I mean, you got to check your boxes. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put them in a cage. Put the top on. Don't put nothing heavy on it. You know what I mean? Like, no, you gotta. There's certain process you have to do, and I don't know. If I had a venomous, that thing, I'd be cautious. Really, 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 really cautious. And I think a lot of idiots have them, but I haven't met none yet. But I've heard a lot getting loose.
So one thing I can have, it's funny because I can't have anything native to the state, and I'm trying to get one from Brad. Is Hilo monsters are from Nevada, so I would love to get a Hilo.
Yeah, that'd be cool. TJ said she's thinking the virus killed that one. Report I read said no trauma. So yeah, I mean, with as cold as it's been lately, that would not surprise me, because there's no way that they would last in New York City night in the winter. I mean, it's probably down to, at least 20 degrees, at least, if not lower. And right there by the Hudson River, it gets colder in the Manhattan area because of the Hudson running through there.
Mm. See, I don't know. Like I said, like when it comes to like depending on where you live, like it could be like New York. We're talking about that. Like it's too cold. Do you really think some of these lizards and snakes you're banning are going to survive in the winter?
They're not.
If they get out, like I can understand you're worried because there's a mass amount of people in New York City and all that. I get it. But I also agree with what you're saying, Ken. There should be some kind of law. I mean, quit banning animals. Instead of banning the animal, make people go through these tests. Make them get certification. And if they pass, let them have the fucking animal and quit telling people what they can and cannot have.
I put the link down in the chat if anyone else wants to jump up with us. But yeah, I mean, I think a simple, like educational, seminar and a certain amount of hours handling these things, wouldn't be a bad idea.
I think, honestly, like that you call me out on this or call it bullshit or whatever, but I think it should be 25% seminars and 80% dealing with cleaning out the animal you want. Like have them go and like when it's feeding time, watering time, cleaning out the enclosures,
handling it, cleaning it.
Yes, and then that's how I feel like it should be for the states that banned it. Like let people that want to live in that state though still have the capability of still having those animals and let them have the chance of owning it.
Yeah. Right. Oh shit. I had a busy weekend, dude. And I still almost took at least third place in the F&A races.
Oh yeah.
Third place had 12 points. I had 10, so it was right there. Very well. Can't win every week. What's next?
I was just reading the chat.
Yeah.
Talk about whatever, bro. Are you tired?
No, I'm not really tired. I mean, I'm a little stoned, and I mean,
it's all good. Hey, you held the show last week. I'll hold the show this week. It's all good. I don't mind. Stan, what is up?
Stan the man. How's it going?
Yo, so he dropped a link. Somebody jump up. Let's talk some reptile stuff. Anything you guys want to talk about? Let's bring it up. Let's go. Let's talk about how the FWC is fucking washed up pieces of shit, assholes, and it's wrong for them.
So I kind of wanted to touch base on my incubator setup. I mean, I got a cheaper thermostat, and I think it'll work because, I mean, I'm getting my temperatures fairly, steady. But I think that box, once I get that box heated up, it's going to hold a little bit more heat. But my thermostat I got it set at 88 degrees. It'll go up to like 89.2 and it'll drop to like 87.5 before it kicks back on. So, I mean, I got it fluctuating between that temperature, 87.5 and 89.2. I think that's a safe zone.
In my incubator, I actually have 2 layers of bottles of water on the bottom.
Nice, Stan. Awesome.
I don't know. I think that's a good. I think it's good. What is the thermostat? The brand you got? It doesn't really matter.
I got a Zilla 1,000-watt, the Zilla one that you see around.
Okay.
Now, I don't know. It's decent for the racks. It works because I got another one that's running my racks. But I think Stan was telling me about. Now it's not like a Herpstat, but it's only $50. But it's like one that is used to like in a greenhouse or something for a greenhouse effect, and the temperatures are a little bit more sensitive in it. It's only around $50, so I think I'm going to try one of those out. I mean, when I get to, if I start working this summer again, I'll be all right. But thinking I'm just going to try to get one of those. You can't never have enough thermostats, I guess, and see if it works a little better.
Yeah. No, I honestly, I don't think the brand really matters at the end of the day. I think that as long as you are able to keep it in the consistency of 87.7 to 91.5, you're good. My sea serpent's incubator is always at, some people don't like hearing this, but it's always at 89 degrees.
Right.
But it stays at 89. It never goes up. It's been lower when I first started it, like plugged it in, but it's never went up. It's always at an 89-degree limit.
It just sucks that it has that fluctuation point. It don't stay. You know what I mean? And that's what these cheaper thermostats like aren't good at doing, in maintaining one temperature. Now with the racks, you know, I got them set at 90. You know what I mean? It'll go to like 90.5. You know, it only goes like a half degree over, but then it drops down to like 89 degrees or something like that. You know, but still, 89 to 90.5 is never going to hurt your snake.
No. For the rack.
Yeah, I seen that stand. They had the Wi-Fi version of it. You could get the one that's not Wi-Fi, but they have the Wi-Fi version. It's only like $10 more. So why wouldn't you get the Wi-Fi? PCF, what is up, dude?
What up? If you guys haven't already, can you guys do me a huge favor, if I please may ask? Could everyone in the chat right now do this for LMK and myself, being the co-host? Could you please I know everyone's already subscribed, but share this shit out too. I'd appreciate it. Ken would appreciate it. Let's get him up on his watch time. Let's help him get monetized. He's a good guy. He knows a lot of shit.
I'm flying up in subs. I mean, I know all you guys are subbed to me already, and I appreciate every single one of you. Like, awesome. Y'all are awesome. But like 2 weeks ago, did you realize I was like 250? Now I'm over 450. I got like 200 subs in 2 weeks. Like, wow, where'd this come from? That's awesome. Like, I love it.
Hell yeah.
What is up, Justin? TJ's coming up. How's you doing, TJ?
Hi. Can y'all actually hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey, look. Sorry, I was figuring there'd be some kind of technical difficulties.
No, it's all good. So how do you feel about the venomous situation? Do you think there should be classes that venomous owners have to take and like get a permit to show that they could actually take care of these things? Do you think some dumbass off the street could go buy one?
Honestly, right now, I think a lot of dumbasses off the street are buying them.
They are.
But I mean, I saw an ad on Facebook, it was yesterday, the day before. Somebody was like, hey, I don't know, somewhere up north, they're like driving 4 states. They were like, let me know, I can make stops on the way. And most of the pictures were tree vipers. I mean, they were all things that are not from here. There were baby gaboons in there. There were I don't even know what half of them are, but I know that they are not things that should be here, that should be in little teeny boxes. I mean, they were packaged up in little Tupperware containers, like we put our baby balls in. Yeah. And he's driving 3 and 4 states with a car full of them. I'm like, no. I don't have anything against it. You know, everybody does their own thing. That's how that works. But I do think there should be some regulations, permitting, something. It's not my thing. I think it's how people get hurt. And I think that's how it smashes down unneeded regulations on the rest of us who aren't pushing, or I don't want to say pushing, but who aren't working in that. You know, to some people, a snake is a snake. It doesn't matter what kind of fang it has.
Right.
And that's how it all gets lumped in. You know, one person with a car full of snakes.
Now, Kent from Craft Brew brought this up a couple months ago. And it was his video talking about the people at the shows that just have like 50 different kinds of lizards, 20 different kinds of snakes, and they're all stacked up everywhere. And these things go show to show to show to show to show to show to show, and don't hardly ever see more than a deli cup. Why would you buy an animal off of someone like that? Nine times out of 10, that thing's probably going to die when you get home. I mean, it was such a good point, because if you don't know no better, that can be like, oh wow, look at this. Oh wow, look at that. But
I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I would not go to an
I don't know.
expo
We're still
to
kind
buy
of
something random.
newer and learning at the shows, and there are just some tables that I glance at now, and I'm like, no, keep walking, because I still have the rescue person bleeding heart. So I've spent most of my life rescuing animals, and now I have to kind of
right,
veer away to take care of my own business. And
I get that.
you know,
My rule of thumb: if they have more than 5 different species on their table, I don't even stop and look. It's just the rule of thumb that I have, because they can't possibly be taking care of all of them.
Some of them I've noticed end up being 4 or 5 different breeders too. They link up and they share tables, and that's a little bit different. But
That's different.
I have noticed some of the, I guess they call them flippers or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, you may have some that are good quality people. It just depends on what they're able to and what their staff is.
I'm not saying the people are bad, but there's just no way that they're taking care of that many animals on the road. Like, you could be the best guy in the world, you could be the hardest working guy in the world at this, but there's no way that you're taking care of 10 different species, 50 examples of each species on the road properly. You're not taking them out of them deli cups every show. You know what I mean? You're putting them in a cooler every show, maybe with the heating pad in the cooler, and taking them show to show to show to show in the little deli cups. And it's just, it irritates me seeing that. And then the last time I went to this Altoona show, like I said, there was a guy there selling venomous with deli cups that weren't taped.
How do they get away with that at shows when you have to have them behind lock and key anywhere
I don't
else?
know. I don't know if it's a Pennsylvania thing, but I thought they at least had to be taped. But these things were untaped. And I was just like, nah, I don't even want to go over there and look at that table. Like, one of them things really wanted to, they could pop that lid off easily. Ball pythons are popping the lids off these things here and there. What makes you think that copperhead or that, rattlesnake or that viper can't just strike and pop that thing off? It ain't even going to stop it.
I mean, I don't know who it is, but I've seen on our Facebook, like the local group, somebody near us sells gaboons, and I'm just kind of like, I didn't even know you could sell that stuff in Virginia. I thought you had to have a permit for it, but I don't want anything to do with hots, honestly.
I would love to get into. No, you're fine. You're fine. I would love to get into hots or venomous, whatever you want to call them. But if I came to the point where I was breeding venomous, it's not a ball python. It's not something where I'm not going to be. I mean, I'm always worried about selling a snake, but at the same time, I'm not. It's totally different when something could take your life. So with that being said, I would only sell to breeders that I knew that had reptiles for at least a couple of years at least before I gave them a venomous snake. I wouldn't just sell to your average Joe though, just because I know, I mean, yes, they could be the next amazing like tamer of that snake or whatever you want to say. But at the same time, majority of the times it's going to be some dumbass that's going to pick up that snake and they're going to be like, I got bit by your gaboon that you sold me. Well, why the fuck are you free handling something that you have no knowledge about? Like, it just makes all of us look bad.
But does everyone do that, Intrepid? I don't think everyone does that. You might have been working with some good people, but I guarantee you everybody don't do that.
But venomous
Yeah, I mean,
not
there
for
are some
everybody.
people, you know,
That's
that
what
there
I'm
are
trying.
people that are good. They have good
Yeah.
staff, they have good people, but there are some that aren't. That's yeah, Boza. Yeah, Gabones are beautiful, and honestly, the chance to see one up close, I would take it in a heartbeat. But I could never have one. And like we all know that there's a need for someone somewhere to always have a venomous facility because we need anti-venom. But
Yeah, right.
it's just I don't see the point in having them as a pet. It's not fair to them. It's not necessary. It's dangerous.
If I were to do venomous ever, it would be I would set up as a full blown lab to extract the venom, and I would want to be like schooled on it, like weeks, months. You know what I mean? Before I would feel comfortable even having one.
See,
I would want a lot of time with them before I say, okay, I'm gonna try handling these things.
see, for me,
I don't know that I'd even want to take venomous to a school. I think that'd be one where you bring your field trip to my facility.
No.
Yeah.
see,
Yeah. You bring your field trip to my facility. I'm not bringing my snakes, my poisonous, venomous, whatever, to your school for sure.
I do have to say this though, Ken. I would not get into venomous for milking them for venom. I get into venomous only for the knowledge and having them in my collection. It would not be for milking them because if you're going to milk the venom out of your venomous snakes, you have a way higher chance of being bit.
Yeah.
So and when you milk them, it also stresses them out. So why put them through that stress for, and I feel like having them alone should be a privilege enough. If you're milking for anti-venom for like hospitals, I understand, like I get it, but I wouldn't do it.
It's one of those things that are needed, and I get it, but I don't need to own a lab. That's not my thing. So
yeah, I agree. I think like in the states that you're allowed to have them anyways, I think retics and berms, you should have some handling classes with them too before you own one. What are you going to do with that thing when it's 15, 16 feet long? I mean, if you don't ever work with it and all you ever do is feed it, you're going to have a problem.
look,
That's the difference between a hobbyist breeder and just someone buying their only snake.
Right. I get it. But for me, I would want to be mentored if I was going to get into retics. I'd want to be around them. I'd want to know. I wouldn't just go out and say, all right, I got ball pythons. I can handle a retic or a burn. No, I would want some schooling on that too. So yeah, I agree with you on Intrepid. Like
look,
even the retics.
like they're big animals, and I think it'd be like putting a bear in a tiny little cage. It's not fair. They need somewhere to play. But also, my ass is 5'2", and I don't need 15-foot snake. There is no way in hell I'm going to be able to wrestle a 15-foot snake at some point when it decides, guess what? I'm bigger than you, and screw you. I don't want to go there because I know it's going to happen.
Right.
Hell, my 70-pound dog does it some days. He's like, not today, Mom. Nope.
I'm 6'2", 250, and I ain't handling one.
I mean, Greg is 6'2". I can just see him one day. Well, I mean, but I know how that'll go. I'm gonna be like, no, Snake, I'm winning today, and she's gonna be like, nope.
Doubt it.
Yeah. There's already a running bet here that I'll be the first person in our ER with a snake bite. That's just, because one of the balls is going to get mad and I'm not going to be able to get it detached from my arm or something. It's just, but that's more because it's me than it is because of the snakes.
I don't know. Ball pythons are really, I mean, now I have some spicier ones, but they still don't really strike at me. They just want to act tough. The second you get them in their hand, they're like, okay, they seem to get it. They're like you're supporting them. Like their tone totally changes. And I guess you can have some that don't, but I don't know. Mine do. They know when they're being held, and they're like, I don't need to bite this guy right now.
Mm-mm.
They chill.
I don't know. I got that one. She's sweet as she can be once you get her out, but
Yeah.
she's in her enclosure. Good Lord. And I've been told by many people it's because she's comfortable and that's her enclosure and she's doing what she should do. But she nails me a
Absolutely.
few times and we have to have conversations.
Right.
She's adorable,
I mean,
but I misnamed her. Just for real misnamed her.
I named my problem snake Annabelle. I picked it perfectly. She was
No, I didn't.
she was a mean little bee when she was a hatchling, and she's like 1,400 grams now, and she don't strike at me as much, but she hisses and she tries to buck me off of her. Like it's comical.
No, I bought this girl. She was already 2,500 grams when I bought her, and she is very sweet. Like I said, once she's out, she doesn't give a flying shit what you do. Doesn't. I can open her mouth. I can play with her. I can pop her. She doesn't care. However, do not stick your hand in her enclosure. But I named her Nimpeo. I'm Native American roots, not all, but yeah. So I thought it was cute because Nimpeo, Native American, means snake that does not bite.
Right. That's
Thought
funny.
it was cute. You know, it's not cute now because she has nailed me 2 or 3 times.
I agree,
Yeah.
Bosa, 100%.
Yeah.
If you really want a big snake, you really want to go do it, then go do a safety course.
Yeah, but look at it like this. So I could easily, when I was in Anaheim at the Reptile Super Show, I could easily walk out with a retic. Do I have the space right now for one? No. I could have been that next bad owner. I mean, I could have been, but at the same time, you got to look at it like this. And I will argue with people every day about this. You could say Florida's their problem.
Hey, darling.
From bad owners with the Burmese? No, it did. Think about the clutches they lay. Like people went to go buy these snakes and they're like, wow, 15 feet Burmese, I can handle it. I got this. They go home. First, 2 years goes by and they're like, damn, after 2 years, this thing's gotten big. I can't keep it anymore. It's going to get me. I'm going to let it go. It's Florida. It's hot, it's humid, it's perfect. So who's to blame? It's bad breeders. Or not bad breeders, but bad owners. So this is all I got to say. I've said this plenty of times on the Reptile Love Show with Derek, is if you're going to sell a huge snake and you know it's going to get huge, like I'm talking about like even a carpet python, which gets 10 to 12, if I'm right. Make sure they have some kind of knowledge on snakes or any reptiles before you even sell them a snake just to make some money.
Right.
Not just the knowledge. It's also, teach them, but also say, look, if it becomes too much, here's some places you can call or people you can talk to.
Well, what I'm saying is I don't want you to come up to me and be like, yo, I want to buy this retic, and it's going to be the first snake I ever bought. No, I'd rather you go buy a ball python, gardener snake, a hog nose, something like that before you even buy it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sell it to you. But if you come to me and you're like, hey, I've dealt with this reptile, I've had this reptile, I have these reptiles, yeah, sure, I'd give you the shot. But for someone to come up to me and be like, oh yeah, no, it's going to be my first snake, fuck no. Get the fuck out of here. You better find someone else because I ain't selling it.
Right. There's a couple breeders that I bought snakes from that I've reached out to them and said, hey, your snake's on this YouTube video and stuff. And there's 2 of them that just don't even care. Like when I feel like I sell my snakes, I'm going to want to, know what that snake does. Yeah. I mean, I know that might be a lot of people 10 years down the road. You know what I mean? But I'd like to think that I'm going to stay diligent and, at least remember, hey, I bought this off you 5 years ago. It's doing good. Hey, I had a clutch. I'd like to think that I would remember.
I know that there are some breeders, they just get so big. And I think that was probably my first shock. I know that, like I said, last year was our first year. This will be the first year we hopefully, have eggs on the ground, maybe. But I was used to the smaller breeders and being able to contact somebody and saying, hey, I bought this snake. If it wasn't the original breeder, I bought this snake from this person and they told me you were the original breeder. Do you have maybe a picture of it when it was a baby, or do you have what was the pairing, or just some kind of history? Because I'm a record keeper, and it's
right?
what I do. And I like having that stuff. For me, it was easier to learn that way. But I had one guy, he was like, I was even able to take, like, the guy that I bought her from had the original Morph Market ad. So I was able to give the guy, I was like, I can even give you the Morph Market ad number. And he was like, I don't know if you know who I am, but do you know how many snakes I breed in a year? I can't even begin to tell you what that was. And I was just like, okay, well, that was rude, but okay,
Right.
thanks. Nothing, I didn't want to be like, well, thanks for nothing, asshole. But that's kind of how it made me feel. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, thank you, but I'm sorry I bothered you. I'm kind of new at this, and I just, trying to get my genes and our basis started, and I wanted to have a good foundation. And he's like, okay, maybe I came off as a jerk. I'll look through my files. And he did eventually come up with some stuff, but I really hope people understand that it's defeating to come off like that. So that's why I tend to go towards, I don't want to say smaller breeders, but friendlier breeders, people that have better personalities and time to talk and educate.
So there's actually here's a story for you. There's a guy here locally named Lonnie, and he sold me what I thought back in the day was a
I'll be right back.
You're fine. Banana. It was a banana inchy male, 100% het pied.
Mm-hmm.
Finds out, I'm like, all right, no freckles. This thing's nice. I start seeing purples come in. I'm like, this is kind of weird. Like, this can't be what I bought. I hit him back up, sent him a photo. He's like, oh, dude, my bad. I gave you the caramel albino. Ever since that day, like, just messing things up, I have never went through somebody that doesn't have at least an Instagram or YouTube showing something. I will never trust another, like, oh yeah, I've done this and that. Like, no, you have to have some kind of credentials for me to buy from you. And for me, for like the smaller breeders you see on YouTube, I think you're able to get better quality at the same time because you know what you're buying, instead of buying from somebody that says, oh yeah, I've been told this and this is crazy. Like, it's 100% het pastel. What the fuck are you talking about? 100% het pastel. It's either pastel, motherfucker, or it's not. Like, so just knowing people that know their shit, yeah, I'd rather go with smaller breeders. Sometimes, I mean, when you go to the shows and you see like Troy I've had him on for Best Dressed Balls, buying from him, yeah, I mean, like, you know what you're getting for sure, especially if it's at his table. But I would not trust a lot of people anymore from the bad buy I had in the past.
No, I've had to, yeah, I've had to learn. I mean, I'm sure everybody's had those experiences, but we've had to learn to talk to people before we even look at animals. If we see something on the table that we like, like I said, every time I see something pretty, I'm like, ooh, but now especially knowing how many morphs and hets can hide, and how many people are like, yeah, it's a het, but they don't tell you that it's only a possible het.
Right.
And then you're sitting on, the possibility for a couple $1,000s in a clutch. And then here you go. It's like, oh no, it wasn't. It was only a possible het. And you're like, oh, well, that's 3 years of life down the drain. Thanks for that.
If I can't get the lineage of the snake, I usually don't buy it. because there are a lot of morphs that hide, like in certain combinations, and might show out in others, you know. And then if you don't know what was in that clutch, you know, what is this? You know what I mean? Like it's hard to figure it out.
But I mean, have you guys noticed, like, most people, I mean, maybe it's just me, but most people that want to help you, they're willing to spill the beans on the pairings and the lineages. Like,
Yeah.
they're really looking to sell you something that they understand what you're looking for and they want to help you. They're just like, here's everything. Here's what I know. Here's, you know, there's a guy here in Hampton Roads, Dennis McNamara. I was looking at, he had blackhead clouds on his table a while back. And I was seriously impressed. And blackhead, I love blackhead, but I'm not real sure what it does in a lot of things yet. But he had a table full of clown, like blackhead clowns, and it was same sire, different mothers, but exact genes. Like they were all just clowns, just blackhead clown. But the difference, I sat there for hours. I looked like a kid in a candy store that was stupid because, but he
I'd have
actually,
been right there with you with blackhead.
yeah, like, but I mean, the differences in each of those babies was amazing. But he actually sat there and like broke down all this stuff. And I'm like, but he wasn't trying to push an animal on me. You know, I straight up told him, I was like, I'm not buying anything today. I don't have any money. So, you know, but he didn't care.
That makes you want to buy one off him in a later date, don't it?
It does. It, you know, and that those are the people that, you know, they're straight up saying, here, they'll spill the beans. Here's my lineage, right. You know, and here's what I've got.
See, like when I start having clutches, like when that drops, take my little notebook and I'm going to write down, you know, every pairing, clutch 1 for 2022 and have what came out of it, you know, all the way down. So 5 years down the road, someone comes back to me and says, hey, I got this snake out of clutch 3 from 2022. You know, I got something funky going on. I'm trying to chase it back. Oh, all right, let me go. All right, hey, this is what I know. You know, this is what its parents was, and this is what I've made from it. And I want to be able to do that for every snake that I ever produce, whether it's 20 years down the road. I mean, it's only a notebook. You write it down, you know, you flip back through. I mean, I know they have these Husbandry Pro now and stuff, but are you going to be able to save like last year's snakes when you're putting in this year's snakes? How big is their database?
Yeah, I mean, look,
What's up, Holly?
Yeah, I mean, look, I see everybody coming in the chat. Hi, sorry, I'm trying to keep up with that too, but
right.
That's why I prop Husbandry Pro. I can't fight with that at all. It's been great. I'm always been a notebook spreadsheet kind of person, but when we hit 10, 12, it was like I started figuring out everything we wanted to keep records on, and it was like, all right, it's time to find something. But Husbandry Pro has kept up with it, so. And even
I'm sure it makes it easier, but I'm still more of an old school guy. I'm going to go with a pen and a piece of paper, notebook.
I still have I have whiteboards everywhere. I've got little pieces of notebooks and stuff, you know, pasted everywhere. But Husbandry Pro makes it easy because I don't have to carry all those notebooks with me when we go.
Right.
I have, you know, a binder that'll go with us that I can take the piece of paper with records out to hand to a purchaser at a show. That's my plan anyway, but it won't be, everything will be mobile, and that'll be helpful. And Husbandry Pro's made it easy to link up to several platforms. So
I get that. I'll probably eventually have something like that, but right now, you know, I got a smaller collection. Now, 3 years from now, I might not have such a small collection, but right now it's not much for me just to write everything down. I mean, yes, it would probably help to have Husbandry Pro because it's cool and it's a good selling point too. It's a good marketing strategy to have that. But
you got to remember too, when we got to a certain point, it was Greg would, I have to answer Greg with what was in this and what was in that. And I'm like, look, here, log in.
Right.
So,
That would
it
be
did me.
cool to have.
Well, and it now, especially with the breeding plan, they've added features in the past year that have been helpful. Like they now have I don't have to go externally to do a genetic calculator that's built in now. They activated that. That's been great. It's all
Oh,
built
wow.
right in there. So it links up. They're growing fast and it's really helpful. They've got the little scan buttons now, which I have not bought yet because I don't think I need to, but at some point I'm sure I will.
Answer this question honestly. How long have you spent messing around on any kind of like gene generator calculator? Like I've probably got 20 hours on just typing in possibilities of my sakes just to see how the genes work.
Oh, God, I can't even think about that.
Beer drinker, what's up?
Hey, yeah, Darlene's right. Husbandry Pro is free for rescues. So I
Oh, wow.
think I pay for the mid tier. Is it collector? It's whatever the mid tier is. But it's not expensive. So I can't even count the hours I've spent on genetics calculators for real when I was trying to learn. And even now when I start trying to figure out, like initially I was just trying to figure out what everything was.
Right.
Now I want to try to figure out what has been made or what I want to make and what it might look like, So now I think multiple times a week I'm still on there.
Me too. It's frustrating, like trying to figure out what exactly I want to do with the Huffman gene is really frustrating because there's not much out there. And it's hard when you don't have nothing to go off of to see what you want to really make. Sucks. But it is what it is. I guess you get that when you start with we'll get a gene that has less than 100 on Morph Market. There's not much out there.
You have any clutches on the ground yet? Or are you still waiting?
I'm still waiting on eggs. I mean, I got 3 females that I think are going to produce. Anxiously waiting.
How about you?
Banana to my pastel this year. I'm going to do my cinnamon melt to my normal, just because I want one of his babies. I got my pastel 100% het clown going to a Spider Inchy pastel or Spider Inchy pinstripe orange dream, which is my son's snake, but it's still technically my snake. So yeah,
it's all in the family. It's fine.
Yeah, Stan, I wouldn't deal with a breeder that talk to me like that. I mean, no, I wouldn't really put them out there on blast. I'm glad you just said a breeder, but yeah, I wouldn't do business with someone like that.
No, those are the ones where you say, all right, bye, and turn around and walk.
Yeah, well, me and Rock got into this early on his show, and like the way I feel about the community, like I was watching on someone's show like a month or so ago, and they was like, you can't like everybody. And that's true. You can't. But does that mean you have to treat someone you don't like with, like mean or disrespectful?
so
No.
let's clarify this. Clarify this.
LKB, what's up?
A lot of people hate me.
How could they hate you?
The live streams, maybe giving you 2 little tipsy one couple nights, saying
It
fuck
happens.
this, I mean, I'm just being honest. Like there's people out there that don't like me. I know this, and does it bother me? No, I didn't give two fucking shits, to be honest with you. There's so many fucking people in this world for me to care about your feelings. Like at the same time, so like, yeah. Like this is why when we're on your channel, we get a ton of like people watching the show, but when we're on my channel, not very many people.
Well, we're gonna change that.
Like, I mean, like I count on Bosa, My Animal House, Reptiles. I mean, there's so many people I can count on that eventually show up, but like those who used to show up, fuck no, they don't show up anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. I'm just now starting to follow along with a lot of these. I really didn't even know this part of the world existed until here recently, but
Right.
my participation will kind of pick up and drop off here and there depending on my projects at work too, because sometimes I get lost in those when we're at a busy point, but
Right. Oh, what was I going to say? I was just going to comment on something that he said, and then, well, out my head. It happens. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. If I don't like you, I'm just not going to support you. I'm not going to be mean to you. I'm not going to sit there and come hate on you. I'm not going to engage you. I'm just going to, yeah, he's all right. I'm not even going to talk shit on you. You know what I mean? Everyone needs to be like that. If you don't like the person, that don't mean you go to war with them.
You know what? I spent 20 some years in public safety and dealt with enough of that bullshit. I'm not doing that in this world.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're trying to fight this fight together. We're trying to fight for the right to keep these animals. Why can't we just put all differences aside and be one? Truly be a community. We want to all keep our animals. So, it only makes sense. Strengths in numbers. It only makes sense to support each other, to help each other out. And that's how I see it. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm naive and maybe I just like to help people too much, but that's me and that'll never change. But that's the way I approach this. I mean, and that's the way I'm going to stand with it. Hell, I'll sub to them. I'll go. If I don't like you, I'll sub to you. I'll come in and like your video, make a comment just to support you, just because you're in the community.
That's a big ass can of twisted tea, and I'm kind of jealous.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, here.
No, you'll be sorry. You're good. I don't like twisted tea, but I'm thinking that there's a bar behind me that, The only thing is, like, I drink whole bottles of things, and Greg disagrees.
But think about what we could do if we would unite as a community. Like, just straight out say, YouTube community, we're one. We're going to fight, for our rights to have these animals. I think we can get more accomplished together than we can apart.
I think it's.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. I think it's moving that direction.
I think, yeah. I think we're getting a lot more of it. From the way I hear it was, yeah, I think we're coming to more togetherness, but it's not enough. I mean, there's still this bickering. There's still, enrichment, non-enrichment. And that dude's, I'm sorry, but he got exposed. I mean, I don't know if you know Samson Snakeatorium, but he had him on What's in Your Cup last Wednesday. And like, I didn't say nothing because I'm not one to come at anyone in a negative way, but I really wanted to rip into that guy. I mean, this was done on such a small scale, this enrichment thing, there's no real facts behind it. I mean, it was done with 35 snakes. And I'm sorry, that's just not enough to say anything. And they didn't even see it in every example. So what is that saying? Absolutely nothing. I mean, if you want to give your animal enrichment in their cage, more power to you. I mean, thumbs up. I think it's cool. I think they look cool. I think vivariums or whatever, I think are awesome. But I keep mine in racks. I throw a rock in there. I throw a branch in there. I mean, they get some enrichment. They get out. They play. This summer, I'm going to take them out in the yard for a little bit.
We keep the majority of ours in racks. I mean, we have some stacks for, some of our bigger males, but the ones that are in racks, we just take them out. We do believe in enrichment for the ones that seem to enjoy it. The ones who don't, fine, stay in your hole.
I get it, 5. And there are certain people out there, and you and I have talked about one of them, that I just refuse to support. But I'm not gonna just like call the guy out and start issues because I just don't like his views.
So Ken, let me say this though, like I encourage you to do this, same as you, TJ. There's actually a few of my ball pythons that I actually like to take out when I go for walks. When it's in the spring and summertime, it's nice and warm. And I mean, yes, I've been kicked out of a few places, but have I taught knowledge while
What's up, 718?
reptiles on me? Yes. So, I mean, that's something you could do too. Just even walking around, a couple blocks and going back home, you might get someone's attention to be like, "Yo, is that like?" Just spread knowledge, because the less and less there's knowledge, people are just going to think snakes are evil, right? And regardless of what anyone says, I've heard plenty of reasons why. I've changed coworkers' lives that I still work with and don't anymore, and they still have reptiles and they still keep, and but it was because they didn't know any better. They were naive. They didn't know, but at the end of the day, just spread knowledge. That's what it comes down to. Because if you could do that, shit, we'll get everything that we want back.
Right.
Till then, they're banning a lot of shit right now. Until we come united, shit, we might not have a community much longer. I'm just being honest. Might not happen next year or so. I'm just saying it might happen in 25 years from now. But who knows when they started banning geckos, ball pythons, horn snakes.
They banned ball pythons. I think there's going to be a blow up.
I've heard some ugly, ugly things that used to happen, we'll call back in the day, and I'm grateful that seems to be going by the wayside now. This just seems to be, at least the people that we all hang out with, our normal every night chat group, I guess. It seems to not be that way, and I like that.
But
sorry,
what?
Like one errant hair that's like tickling me. I can't find. I know I look a little crazy up here flicking the imaginary person, but it's not. It's a hair somewhere.
But see, I think Jason was trying to help steer you a better way. I mean, if you trust the breeder on his opinion, then take it as an opinion that's trying to help you. You don't always have to take it as they're trying to, lead you another way that you shouldn't go. I mean, that's two different situations from what Stan said to what you said. Kittinger is trying to say, hey, I think you should do this, because he knows your snakes. This guy, I guess, told Stan that, you don't want that. You don't want to do that. And like, for what? Someone tells me I don't want a gene when I come up and ask about it, and I'm going to look at them and be like, well, who the fuck are you to tell me that I don't want it? I mean, it just seems to be two situations. But yeah, I get a bigger breeder if they know what you have to give you their opinion, because I'll give you my opinion. I give everyone an opinion. It's like assholes.
We've had a couple of people we're friends with that, we're friends with, but we're familiar with that will say, well, hey, last time you bought from us, but, we're looking at, the $1,000 animal, and they're like, but wait a minute, I think this is going to fit in better, and it's a $500 animal. And I'm like, well, you just cut your sale in half. And they're like, yeah, but there's no purpose. There's no reason for you to spend that money. This is going to work better for you. And to me, that's quality because you just cut your own sale in half to help me out, you know, and that's
Exactly. That's what you want. You want an honest person.
well, it's something I think I would do too. I mean, I want to make sales, but I don't want to be that kind of asshole that makes a sale just to make a sale, you know?
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, YT, you're right. Some breeders would just say, yeah, that'll work for you. Take it just to make the sell. But
I mean,
you
don't get me
know,
wrong. You want my $1,000 snake? Have it. But also, this one would probably work better for what you're doing too, you know?
exactly.
I'm going to take your money, but
I mean, yeah, no, I agree because I would hate to see someone get a snake that had no idea what the hell they were getting into. Now, if we're talking about another keeper, that's another story. If you want my $1,000 snake, you're paying $1,000 motherfucker for that snake. But if you're someone new that's just trying to get their first snake,
I'm not selling you $1,000 snake if you're just gonna take it home and not breed it. You know, I'm gonna steer you to something else.
See, that's where you and I are different. If it was like, I'm just saying, if I had the success of, let's just say, AEP Miguel, and I got to sell his snake to Ezekiel Elliott, you're damn right I sell a snake to him. Are you kidding me?
Well, I'm just saying, if someone comes up to me and says, I really like that snake there for $1,000, it's my first snake. I'm going to say, that's more of a breeder snake. Are you sure you want to spend that much money on it? I mean, if it's a look thing, all right, here, I'll sell you the snake. But I'm going to let you know why that snake is that much.
But at the same time, who knows? Maybe they get into breeding after that, you know?
I mean, if they have breeding plans.
Too. Some people aren't buying them. They're buying them for pets, but they're not buying them because they're a normal just for a pet. They're buying them because they have the money and they want the prettier ones, but they're still just a pet, you know? Some
Right.
people are collectors over, it's like the people who buy the $7,000 dogs just to say they have it. You know, they're literally putting a wall full of pretty snakes on the wall because they can.
Right. I don't know. I'm going to be probably that seller that's over informative, that gives you way too much information that you don't really need all of, but you're going to know everything about that hatchling. You know what I mean? Even if you are just, you're just buying it for a pet, you're still going to know everything about it, because when people ask you, you're going to know. And that's just something I feel that everyone should know. Buying a snake, you should know its parents. You should know what genes are possible in it, because genes hide all the time in things.
I think it's
especially if they're breeding it.
Finding out what you're selling to. I mean, if you're selling to, you got to look at what you're looking at. If you're at a show and you're staring at another breeder or a group of teens or somebody with their 5-year-old looking for their first pet, you got to know what you're selling to as well.
Exactly. I get it.
Yeah, Darlene, I'm kind of there with you. If you want my $1,000 snake, here you go. But I'm still gonna try to. I don't know. It's just me.
I'm not going to try to talk you out of it. I'll sell you a snake, but sure you want that one?
Well, you can have it. I mean, that's But my point was somebody knowing we were in the startup phase and looking for something specific, and they had exactly what we were looking for, just at a better price.
Right. I don't know. My first ideal when I got into this, was just like undercut everyone, sell your snakes, just undercut, you know how to do it. But no, like my opinion about selling snakes has changed so much from the beginning. It's not even funny. Like, I had no idea what I was getting into at first. And, I dove into Pandora's box. I took that rabbit hole. I've learned a lot. And it's awesome.
I sold horses for many, many years. And I can tell you, some of the idiots that try to buy horses. I know it seems like a far cry from horses to snakes, but it's not. I can't tell you how many parents
Right.
walk into a barn and look at a $20,000 3-year-old horse for their 5-year-old kid. They have no business putting that kid on that pony, but that's the horse they're going to buy because it's the pretty one.
Right.
But the pony's going to kill their kid or vice versa because nobody knows how to take care of it.
Right.
And it's a similar situation.
Yeah, it seems it. So,
Makes sense.
a couple weeks ago, I think, yeah, it was Keys who said that he's going to start requiring people that he now sell snakes to have a USARK membership.
I agree, but I
agree 95%, but the collector, I don't think is going to want to subscribe to USARK, or not the collector, but the not breeder, the person that the pet owner. There's not a place. I mean, I guess a pet owner, could support it, but
I mean, that's
how many pet owners are really going to support it?
see, I like the concept of it. It sounds really cool, but at the same time, it's not going to work for everybody. Everyone's not going to want to do it.
Yeah, I know not everyone's going to do it. I mean, I hope it works for him. He's a cool dude. I mean, that's a big. If he sticks to that, like that guy needs his props because that's big. I mean, he's going to be turning down sales just because you don't have your USARK membership. I mean, that's admirable. And that shows he's just not in it for the money.
No, I think it's a great program. I think it's one of those things that it's probably going to be breeder related. I don't know what his intent behind it is, but it's
okay. PCF. I mean, I get it, but do you think that your normal like pet owner is going to want to? I mean, what is it only like $40 a year, something like that? I think that's what I just paid.
Yep.
I mean, that's not bad at all. So I get it.
I mean, I support USARK. I always have. It's meant to do something to support hobby. But
I get 905's point of view. Why would he support USARK and America? I guess they got Canadian herp. So yeah, I mean, okay, like
no, I get it.
I'd tell you one if
it's
you're
gonna
from
have
Canada
to-
and you got canned herp. I mean, yeah,
So look at
the
it
same
like
thing.
this. Look at it like this. If you go to IG right now, USARK probably has 20,000 followers. I'm just saying. Okay, think about these numbers. We look at Brian Barczyk, and I love Brian Barczyk. I have no hate against the dude. So those who do not like him, I'm sorry, but I like the dude.
I like him too. He's a cool dude.
But a couple million easy subscribers, easy. But we can't get that for USARK. Okay, so let's switch it up. Let's look at Derek Reptiles, right? Derek Reptiles, my other co-host, he has 60-something thousand subscribers, but yet USARK still only has 20,000 followers. You see what I'm saying? Like
That's
the numbers
bad.
don't add up. The numbers do not add up. You could bring up Jay Brewer. Jay Brewer has what, 2 million subscribers, something like that, 3, maybe 1. Numbers don't add up. Why is it that
That's crazy.
all these bigger contenters that make content, why don't they make a thing together for USARK? Why is it that it's always on the smaller guy to support USARK more than the bigger guy? I'm not calling them out like that, but I'm just saying, like, why is it they don't have the numbers these other guys do, and they could easily make a change in the industry? That's what I'm trying to bring up.
I agree on the numbers part. That's definitely messed up, but I do see a lot of these bigger breeders doing programs and fundraisers for U.S. art. I do see a lot of that. So, I mean, but yeah, those numbers should definitely be higher for sure.
Your take on it, TJ?
I support USARK. I always have. I think that there are at 9 to 5. I hope you're not getting too upset. It's not. I don't think it's like that at all. There's always going to be a way to push what you believe in. I think it's especially breeders and hobbyists who are in Florida. Florida is trying very, very hard to choke out any form of this type of hobby. So it is a very sensitive subject in Florida, and I don't see it being every single purchaser. I know that I can't speak for Keys. Keys is a great guy, so I don't see it being that type of thing. But if it's me and it's another breeder, yeah, I'd like them to support, whether it's Canherp or USARK. I want you to support what's going to keep our hobby going wherever you're at.
Exactly.
But I'm not going to look at a pet owner and say, hey, I need you to go pay $50 to, to do this, or look at, it's just not something I'm going to do. But I would like other breeders to support USARK and even Florida USARK. We go to Florida regularly. I've got friends, actually a lot of my breeder friends are down in Florida. So I understand why it's such an important push for them down there. It's an important push for all of us. And I know that it's an important push for you guys too. I've heard you guys have a lot of issues up there as well. But
so if all the big YouTube content creators with reptiles all got together and they all actually made a YouTube video that they can share on each of their channels without getting a copy strike, because they would be allowed, don't you think with all their numbers, if you add all the big breeders and Justin Belka, and you think of everybody and you add their numbers, it's over I want to say easy 12 million subscribers. And I mean, followers on IG are probably insane. But if they all did something together besides the little guys, it would make such a big change to law. So many more people that were you know what, I'm getting into this year. I just started, but I want to go support this. If they all did that, I think the whole industry would change for a better turn, because bigger guys are now supporting one movement. Besides making a video of themselves, of what the clutches they have, whatever, it's about moving us all to USARK. If we all did that, golden. Shit would stop getting banned. Shit would actually turn in our favor to where we have things we want and we know we want.
Yeah.
And PCF there has a point. The pet owners are going to have to step up too, because pet owners are part of what we sell to, but for every ball python found in the park, or retic found out on the side of the highway, or Burmese cut loose in the Dismal Swamp, it's one more key that they get to use against us. So we
got to be responsible sellers.
Yeah, but we also have to try and help with that education to maybe give the pet owners a chance there, And I do think, in my opinion, okay, we know some of these pet owners are going to get overwhelmed. We know that they know that retic is going to get big. And no matter how many times you say, this snake is this big, but it's going to become this big and more, when that snake becomes that big is when they're going to realize what that big is. Maybe saying, okay, look, if you become overwhelmed, these are some things that people you can contact, outlets that you can look to for if that day ever comes, you know? Because a lot of people come to that point and they have no clue where they can go with it. And they just cut it loose.
All right.
So if I was breeding bigger snakes, I promise everybody, as I say it now, if I was breeding Burmese retics, and for some odd reason, 2-3 years down the road, you were like, this is too big, I can't take care of it, I'll take it back. I'll give you half your money back, and I'll take it back. I'm not going to buy that. I honestly, the reason why is because why let that pet go in the wild? Well, it is to a new actual environment that it might not. I mean, if depending on location, you got to look at it like that too. Like because I live in Reno, is the retic going to do really good in the winter here? No. Anything really? No. It snows a lot. Tahoe's near to me. And maybe if you live by Florida, San Diego, it maybe would thrive. But instead of them letting it go, I would buy it at least half off. I mean, and we're talking 2-3 years down the road if they can handle it. I mean, if they're calling me within the first 3-5 months, I'm going to be like, what the fuck?
All right. What do you think the chances are that they take away ball pythons? Because that's going to be the real shit show there if they take away ball pythons.
There are some localities that already do.
Huh. See, I didn't know that.
See, I honestly think that they'll eventually, if we don't band together within the next 10 years, 20 years, we won't have ball pythons. We won't. It'll be wrong. It'll be to the point where if I just say going south. But we need to unite the community better to the point where we are actually making progress every day. It's really amazing. Someone said this in the chat earlier. I don't know who said it, but the USR Florida actually has a lawsuit against FWC. Like, that is amazing. Like, that is going to help huge.
So, like,
go ahead.
No, you're fine. So, like, in Hawaii, it's illegal to own ball pythons. Actually, it's illegal to own most snakes in Hawaii. Delaware requires a permit to own ball pythons.
I can understand
a permit
in Hawaii because they could survive there. And
Delaware for a permit? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you have to have a permit for like everything in Delaware. Delaware is really strict. But yeah, I can understand Hawaii because they're such small islands. You know what I mean? They're a series of small islands. And
Hawaii has a lot of protected, actually all of Hawaii I think is protected. They are very, very careful about invasive anything. So
yeah. So I could see that. But is there any other states that ban ball pythons?
Not the state itself. There are localities within the states, though. Towns and cities and counties.
I need a license.
Yeah, you have to have a dog license in PA.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's only like $8 a year. It's not much. But yeah, you got to have a dog license. If you get caught without a dog without its license, it's like a $250 fine.
I don't know if anybody in here is in New York City, but at one point it was illegal in New York City to have ball pythons or any exotic snakes, I believe.
So it's weird because once again, we brought this up earlier. It's so exotic. It's kind of crazy. I could buy a ball python, but I can't have other things that are exotic to the state. It's kind of weird.
I mean, they're harmless. I can't see.
But then you talk about Delaware, which I just heard of, and now you need a license for a fucking ball python. Are you kidding me? What's the worst it's gonna do? Break its teeth on me?
Like I said, like Link said, we need licenses for dogs in PA.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I have a list saved somewhere. I'm trying. to find
I'm
it.
going to Alaska.
Virginia is pretty strict on its exotics, period. So anything that's like non-native, like we can't raise ASFs here.
Wow.
Same.
You
No
have
ASF,
to
none of that.
register, like some corn morphs. You have to register certain corn morphs here. Red-eared, like, is it red-eared slider turtles? I don't know a lot about turtles, but I think it's red-eared sliders you can't have.
Turtles.
Or
I like turtles.
the limited.
I'm just being a goof.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's see.
Wow.
Let's see.
I don't know. I just think it's going to come into that we're going to have to start paying permits per snake or whatever. They're going to want to make money off it sooner or later. They're going to want their cut. Somehow, some way, I think that's coming.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a lot of the counties have their own. The problem isn't just, it's not just a state law, because even within a county or a city, the towns can have their own laws. So you can go within a district or a region and then still move to a town within that county, and you're like, all right, well, the county doesn't have any special laws, but then your town can.
Right.
So it's
I don't know. I'm pretty lucky here in PA. There's just you have to pay once you start producing snakes and selling them. You have to pay a $50 vendor's fee, basically, and that's it. If that's like venomous and anything, you don't have to have a permit for none of it. You just gotta. If you start selling it, that's when you got to get a permit. Like you can own them, they don't care, no permit.
Yeah.
See, if you're going to start making profit, they want their cut.
In Virginia, we're anything that's non-native and not hot, we're fine. If it's native, there's different.
I might move to PA soon.
I don't know about cobras. I mean, because I don't see them around. But like I said, I know someone who had one, and they didn't have to have a permit. That was about 10 years ago.
Ooh. There's so many lapids that I want to get into.
Ow.
Yeah, don't mess with cats either. You start messing with cats, you're going to have everyone in an uproar.
Yeah.
Get a fucking tiger.
I'm talking about house cats.
Oh.
Savannah cats in Virginia are interesting. Actually, Savannah cats across the U.S. are an interesting
Them things are awesome looking. I'd love to have one. I'd love to have one of them things running around my house.
Don't have $3,000 to plop down on one.
Yeah, I don't have $3,000 to plop down on one, but I'd take one if anyone's giving it away. Just saying.
Oh, there's rescues, but you're still gonna pop out a few grand for one.
Oh yeah, you ain't even getting a rescue for under $1,500, maybe $2,000 even.
Yeah, like in Virginia, you can't own a serval, which is part of a Savannah cat, and you can't own an F1, but you can own, which is the first. Yeah, you can't have an F1, which is like the first offspring of the serval and a cat making a Savannah cat, but you can have anything F2, F3. You can have second and third generations, but you can't have first generation.
See, I mean, I don't know. I feel that's just them wanting to have a say-so in it. You know what I mean?
I guess it's because it's still technically half wildcat at that point instead of a quarter wildcat, but I don't know.
Yo,
I don't know.
Ken, out of curiosity, how many people we still got watching?
11
How many?
still.
11 people. Hell
Yep.
yeah. If you guys haven't already, please like, subscribe, all that fun shit. Share the shit out.
I mean, we was up to like 16 for a while. How many likes we
Yeah,
got?
actually, the chat's still quite hot. They're going.
Yeah.
Why stop the show?
Got 18 likes. Still 11 people in the room. Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah.
We're going to be on for another 20 minutes. I'm going to end it at 2 hours. I'm getting pretty tired. So,
Man, I was hoping we were going to go longer since we started earlier. But all right.
dude, I had a long weekend. Started live on your channel after. I'm going to bed
I
in
might
about
actually,
25 minutes.
if anyone, I'll actually share the link. It'll be an open chat. We'll talk about reptiles. That's my life. Like, I don't have anything besides my wife and kids that is going like the reptiles.
Right.
Other
I
than
don't
that,
really
go to
like
work.
this area for the shows. I mean, I got to travel at least 2 hours for a good show. We have this Altoona show that, I mean, when I go start setting up it, I'm not taking anything over a $500 snake because it just won't sell. I mean, I might take something there to display to show what I have, you know, but there's nothing selling there over $300-400. I've talked to many people down there that, you know, brought their, you know, bangers that they would take you know, like 10 or something like that. Have $2,000-3,000 snakes on them. People don't even stop and look. They see $2,000 and they turn around and walk away. Yeah. 300 and down, you'll sell snakes all day there.
Okay, LKB.
I guess he's in Virginia.
Yes.
What was it?
LKB.
Oh, yeah.
I finally found someone, and I knew I was going to run into this, but there is LMK Royals. They're from Great Britain. Like, we came across each other on Instagram the other day, and they're LMK Royals, and I'm LMK Reptiles. It was just pretty funny. And we both named them after our kids. Like, my LMKs for Lexus, Mercedes, and Kira. They're my daughters. And I don't know, her two sons was an L and an M, and her name was Christina or something like that. So it was just kind of weird how we both came up with it. Had nothing to do with let me know. I just figured I'd share that. It was kind of funny.
Oh yeah.
I know that certain things in Virginia, like caimans, are illegal here.
Last time I went to that Altoona show, there was literally a dude sitting there selling caimans out of like one of them industrial black tubs you get from like Lowe's, like the bigger, thicker ones. Selling caimans out of it. There's like 5 little caimans he had in there selling them. I'm like, that's crazy. That's just nuts.
Yeah, I don't understand.
What's up, Rat Pack? Thanks for coming in.
Hey.
Snack is back. But yeah, like
So
that.
I want to say this,
Good.
I want to say this one more time. I hope somebody participates. All you got to do is choose 11 females and 11 males, and both could be three.
Look, I still got the example. I'm going to put the example out there.
Please, it's a free $25.
All you got to do is write down characteristics, genes to a position in football. There's my offense. And there's my defense. All you got to do is write 22 ball python morphs down and give them a football position.
That's it.
That's it. And we'll pick a winner for $25. That's all. If anyone wants to see that again, I'll put it back up. Just let me know. I mean, heck, copy my list down, turn it in. It's an entry.
It's an entry. There you go. It's a free $25. All you gotta do is try. Just choose. Damn it.
You don't have to know football. You just have to know genes and put 22 different genes down and let it ride.
That's it.
So,
Darlene, if you need any help, get me a hold of me on Instagram before Thursday, because Thursday we're going to pick a winner if we get enough entries. And just get with me on Instagram and I'll help you.
Bosa, I thought you had like a whole bunch of devices so you didn't have to swap around.
No, he's cloned. I'm telling you, he's got a clone running around.
Okay, so the researcher in me, because this is what I obsessively do. In Delaware, you have to have a permit for a ball python, but you do not have to have a permit to own an Asian water dragon.
Just another one of the mind-blowing things that, like, for no reason.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, see,
Mr. Lynch has a snake that would make a good referee. I'm guessing it's Xanthic.
I don't even know if I'm allowed to have the green basilisk in Nevada, but we bought him. Mellow Yellow bought him in Cali, and he had to move to San Diego, so he was like, "Hey, would you take him?" I was like, "Yeah," and I got them now, but like.
All right, Darlene, I will do. If anyone else wants an example sent to them, hit me up on Instagram. I'll send you an example of that, and I'll send you a list of, what positions you have to fill. If you do it wrong, who cares? Just put 22 morph down and enter it.
Oh, yeah, 22 morphs. 3 recessives on males, 3 recessives on females. It's not that hard. Codoms, hets, or doms.
I mean, act like you're building a collection with 22 snakes, and you got to have 3 recessive projects. Well, actually 6, because you can put 3 on your offense and 3 on your defense, and then have your hets on the opposite. It's not that hard.
Damn.
Okay, I'll send you the positions, Darlene. Anyone else need some info? Hit me up. I'll lead you to it.
$25. And trust me, when we do the March Madness one, I'll do another 25. We'll just keep going with it. That's just to get people more intertwined with knowing their morphs and genes. And we're gonna break down the winner. Like the winner, we're gonna break it down. We're like, if they did this to that and this and that, like this is what they would end up with. It'll be epic. You guys will fucking enjoy it. I promise that.
Well, at least we'll try to make them enjoy it. I mean, why not?
I'm going to play. I probably won't understand much. I like football, but I never.
Do you know the 11 starting positions on offense and 11 starting positions on defense?
I will when I write them down.
See, that's a trick question, though. If you want to break it down, that's a trick question, Ken, because it depends on the offense style and the defensive style on how they play.
Yeah, I'm just saying a base offense. You got 3 wide receivers, a running back, a quarterback, and then you got your 5 offensive linemen, your left tackle, your right tackle, right guard, left guard, center.
What about your tight end?
Tight end. There's my 11. And then your tight end. And that's all it is. And then defense, you got your nose tackle, 2 defensive tackle, left outside linebacker, right outside linebacker, 2 middle linebackers, 2 cornerbacks, and 2 safeties. I mean,
unless you're, now
you want to run a nickel, we can run a nickel defense. I can spit out a dime defense. I mean, I could go a 2-5. I mean, I can do a 1-6 even for you.
We run a freestyle, bro. Like,
I'm a defensive guru. I should be coaching defensive football somewhere.
We're gonna make.
That would be my dream job.
A lot of money.
Defensive coordinator. I want one at the head coach position. I'd want to be a defensive coordinator for a college team somewhere. That would be my dream job. Because college is so much more funner than the pros.
I agree.
Well, it's about money in the pros. In college, you're playing your ass off to get to that money. Now they changed it to where they can do signings and get endorsements and stuff, I guess. But it's still not just all for the money. You're still trying to make it to the NFL to get the money.
See, what bothers me is this season coming up. Here's why. It's going to be I don't give a shit season. Here's why. Because the season after that, we have a 16-team playoff.
That's going to be interesting.
That will be interesting. That means lower end schools have a chance to make the playoff.
Right.
Will they win? No, don't place your
I mean, I think every once in a while, like maybe once every 10 years, we might get, a smaller school that might pull it out once every decade. But that's even a long shot.
I would say Kellen Moore at Boise State. Like, if the playoff error happened in his time, he would have a better chance of winning a national championship than he would do the BCS era.
I don't think Boise State will ever be one of these top schools that get,
not with Kellen
10
Moore,
top recruits, 10 5-star recruits on their team. Like, it's hard.
See, and that's what happened with Nevada, because we beat them that year. So, I mean, we had Kaepernick, and then recently we had Carson Strong. And, I mean,
I didn't know Kaepernick came from Nevada.
Kaepernick played at UNR, yeah.
I didn't know that. Learned something.
TJ, I know you're like football shit. Shut up.
No, actually, I watched football. I did watch the NFL faithfully 3 days a week until all the political bullshit took over. But
see you, Darlene.
Kaepernick. That was Kaepernick. He started kneeling.
Yeah.
I think Roger Goodell's turned it into a powder puff league. Like, you can't hit the quarterbacks. I mean, too many penalties are being called at too many crucial points in the game, and it's taking the game out of it.
But it's funny that we didn't call any flags in the Super Bowl until the end, right?
Yeah, Kansas City was going to go down and score. That's no doubt. They would have scored and took the lead. But then you're going to call that flag and make it basically impossible for Philadelphia to come back.
Let me say this. Think about this. And no one really, maybe people will talk about it, maybe they haven't. I don't know. But do you know how many drugs they put fucking Patrick Mahomes under? When he won the Super Bowl, and then you look in his eyes when he's talking to Kelsey.
Oh, yeah. He was high on painkillers for sure. I was hooked on painkillers for many years. I was on them for like 10 years, dude. And I could tell that look in his eye.
The guy's not going to have a freaking ankle next year. So, I mean, you'd have ran with him too.
I might not have an ankle next year by this time either.
And that's
later, PCF. Thanks for coming in, bud.
Bye. Yeah, he's gonna have metal in his ankle probably before he's 35.
It's gonna be flag football in 10 years, and I wouldn't doubt it.
No.
I don't know. I think in 10 years, I don't think it's gonna be flag football, but I think in 10 years they're gonna be like in suits. They're gonna make them wear whole suits that are like robotic, and to where they don't feel the impact. The suits feel the impact.
Really think about this, Ken. I'm gonna ask you, what does the NFL stand for?
National Football League?
No, it's the no fun league, because all they do is make money, cry about bullshit fucking flags. This is why college is way high, more up tempo. It's fucking better.
Yeah, college is better because, like I said, it's about trying to get to the money and not making the money. Because most of these, football players, they get drafted in the first round. It goes to their head.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think that's why more of them don't make it than any.
Look at Mr. Irrelevant. I think this motherfucker has a career.
I think Brock Purdy has a good chance of at least making a decent career for sure.
I look at Trey Lance and I'm like, pathetic.
He ain't making it.
Nah.
Hi, Freckled and Frugal. Thanks for coming in.
Hey.
What else just came in? That Violence Loco. Thanks for stopping in. We're about ready to end it, but still, thanks for coming in. Showing some support. Make sure you hit that like button.
You see Derek Carter went to the Saints?
Yeah, he went to the Saints. Do you see that who was Jalen Ramsey went to the Dolphins?
Yeah. I was shocked. I was really shocked. I was like, no way. Like, they actually have a shot, dude. Like, if Tua stays strong, they got a shot.
That coach reminds me of Simon from the Chipmunks. The Miami Dolphins coach.
Yeah.
But he's one of these newer, younger, hungry guys. You know what I mean? That's why I think Pittsburgh should can Tomlin. I think he lost, his will to win. He's too much of a player's coach.
See, this is what I don't understand. You can't blame a coach for having such a successful record because of the players, because it's really the players that determine his success.
I get it.
I mean,
but they put the positions out there.
Dude, I
don't want to get started on that because I'll yell about this for an hour.
I would love to fire Kyle Shanahan just to get him. Are you kidding me? I guarantee you he leads us to something compared to Kyle Shanahan.
See, at some point, I could have kept up with you guys on this conversation, but I quit watching the NFL when they turned it into political bullshit. And then when the Redskins changed their name, I was out. I was completely done with it.
Oh, that doesn't mean anything to me. I mean,
look, since I was a little kid.
I understand that. I totally get it. I do. Trust me. Like, I get what you're saying. But at the same time, why haven't we stopped Florida State, the Seminoles? Why haven't we stopped the Kansas City Chiefs? I mean, like, we could bring up
I don't know.
team and I mean, like, it's sad they even did it to the Major League Baseball teams.
I've got, like I said, I don't get into the politics. History is history to me. I don't get into any of that shit, and I'm not going to get into any of it. I just feel like you just caved for no damn reason. You've had that name for how damn long now?
I agree. No, I totally agree. I think the Redskins should have stayed around. I don't think it should be the Commanders. I think the Commanders is a shitty-ass name. I mean, at least turn it into something more badass, like the Redskins 3.0 about to whoop that motherfucking ass, like something.
Something,
I'm
out.
Even the
Not
Cleveland
only
Indians.
name, but they just got shittier. I mean, it's bad enough that, like, we've been playing like shit for years anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I was kind of out, so.
Even the Cleveland Indians changing to the Guardians. I mean, I've seen that and I was like, what? I mean, really?
Yeah, that sounds like a hockey team.
It just that got taken away so far out of context. But where Washington went wrong as the owner, I mean, he was running wild, like trying to just, be inappropriate in so many different ways.
I think it was just placating something for the wrong reason. That's my opinion. Like I said, I'm not a debate person. I don't.
Yes,
I was just kind of
happen to be politically correct is just stupid.
And I was.
Yeah. We couldn't hear that. You roboted it.
Oh, I said I was just. That's my opinion of it, and I was just kind of fed up with the whole situation anyway. I did watch the Super Bowl this year. I did think it was a really good game.
It was up until that last holding call. I enjoyed it, and I was just like,
Look, actually, I got pissed off. It was the second inning, the call where they were arguing over the ball. Shit, it was where the Chiefs, I can't remember the guy's name, but where the Chiefs had whether or not it was a good call, whether the ball was in hand and he was in bounds when the ball was in hand. They turned the ball. he had the damn
I
ball
think
in
that
hand, and
was
he did.
little app.
Yeah,
Dude,
there's too much of
like-
this. Like a catch is you gotta the whole process to the catch, then going to the ground. Like no, like there's some of these things that don't get called a catch, and I'm just like, what is this?
See, Stan. Yeah, no, I look,
Yeah,
you can
Stan.
give me 20 different camera angles. The kid had the ball in hand, it was on his chest, both feet were inside the line. So
It's
and they
catch.
still called it. Yeah, they still
Yep.
turned it over. I was like, whatever. I'm gonna watch Rihanna and then drink through the rest of the game, okay?
All right, guys, we're at 2 hours. We're going to end this live here. I guess BPL is going to start a live over there. That guy, TJ. Thanks for coming up. It was
TJ,
awesome.
Yeah,
Always
thanks,
a
guys.
pleasure. Always a pleasure to have you up here.
If you can,
And,
join my live stream. We're going to talk about Rihanna because it looks like Super Smash Bros.
It did look
Keep
like
it real,
video.
guys. And seriously, community. Preach community, no matter what. Community, community, community. We got to stay together. Peace out. Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, guys. Good night.